There's a fascinating finishing prospect at Derby, with both Derbyshire and Middlesex fancying their chances of winning their latest LV County Championship match, with honours still remaining even at the end of day 3. The first 2 days had been topsy-turvy affairs, with Middlesex bossing the first one before the home side fought back magnificently on day 2. They begun this day on 193 for 3 in their second innings to lead by 117, and Dan Redfern and Chesley Hughes were soon building on that. They took the total to 224 before they lost Hughes, who drove at a wide ball from Stephen Finn and edged behind to a diving John Simpson. Hughes made 36. That wicket ended a stand of 61, which occupied 21 overs, and Middlesex had to wait a further 15 overs to secure their next wicket. Greg Smith, in spite of his first innings failings here, has started his summer in a brilliant fashion, and with Redfern also batting with some ease at the other end, Derbyshire, bowled out for just 154 in their first innings, were now getting themselves into a good position. Redfern here hitting 2 successive boundaries off Tim Murtagh. The pair added a further 70 runs for the 5th wicket before, crucially, Ollie Rayner broke the partnership, catching a thin edge off Redfern's bat. He went one short of his 50 at 294 for 6. Smith, with 100 and a 99 to his name already this summer, was still there, and this stroke took his side past 300. He then went one better than Redfern by securing his half-century to his 63rd delivery. This time he couldn't go on, and to his very next ball he was bowled through the gate while on the drive to Corey Collymore just before lunch. That was taken with Derbyshire on 321 for 6, giving them a lead of 245. But on the resumption, they soon lost Luke Sutton, who was able to bat in spite of injuring his hand while keeping. Finn bowled him around his legs for 11. Middlesex would have been very keen to finish things off with the second new ball still fairly fresh. But Jonathan Clare, who had to bat with a runner because of a hamstring injury, had other ideas as he took on the bowling instead, as the lower order now began to frustrate the fielding side. Clare couldn't move much at the crease and looked in a fair amount of discomfort, so he just hit the ball hard instead. He and Ross Whiteley added another 41 runs before Whiteley, having stuck around for more than an hour in making 9, nicked Murtagh behind. Clare followed in the next over, pulling Gareth Berg to mid-wicket after making 26. So the last pair came to the crease with Derbyshire on 366 for 9 and with a lead of 290. But thanks to some clean hitting from Tony Palladino, who was dropped before he'd scored, they were able to take that beyond 300 and still carried on. Indeed, he and Tim Groenewold put on 37 for the last wicket, and it took Finn to end it as Groenewold drove him to point, leaving Palladino unbeaten on 29. Derbyshire had finally been dismissed for 403, and that set Middlesex an imposing target of 328 to record their second successive victory in this season's LV County Championship. But the wicket, which had not helped the batsmen on the first day and a half, was now playing well, and Chris Rogers and Scott Newman set about the home attack, minus the injured Clare, as if they were in a real hurry to finish the game off. Boundaries were flying off the bat as it began by scoring in excess of 6 runs per over. Perhaps they got a bit carried away. Newman, after racing to 37, pulled Smith straight into the hands of Redfern to end a partnership of 79 in just 15 overs. Smith almost did for Dan Housego as well, this leave a little bit too close for comfort. Housego and Rogers saw their side into 3 figures, but importantly, the former Derbyshire captain was then leg before to a delighted Palladino, going for 49. An hour still remained in the day for either side to grab the initiative. Neither did, but at least Middlesex didn't lose any more wickets, as Housego and Malan played very sensibly to see their side through to the close on 145 for 2, meaning that there is still everything to play for on the final day. Middlesex will begin it on 145 for 2, meaning that they require a further 183 runs to win. Derbyshire, who also won their last match, will still be hopeful of taking the 8 wickets that they need.